How you doing? It's the Butcher here, and I have a very special video today. I have obtained a uber unique, and that is Andariel's Visage, if that's how you say it, Visage. I'm not sure, better known as the Lifesteal Helm, and this thing is pretty nutty. So, glancing at this item, really nothing sticks out. Like all stats is fine, attack speed's good, poison resistance decent. Now the poison damage it does isn't that much or that crazy, and I'm actually using it on a right now on a overpower Hoda barb, so the poison damage is not necessary at all. But the one thing that makes this so unique, it is the only item and the only way in the game, I believe, to my knowledge, of having any kind of lifesteal. And I'm not entirely sure exactly how this lifesteal works. What I do know, the way I believe it works is however much damage you do, you gain back 3% of that. I'm not sure if that has to do with how much health the enemies have or things like that. It's a little bit confusing, but this thing is awesome. I think it's probably the second best uber unique behind a Shaco, which is just the best. But this thing is a dream for pushing, Nightmare Tier 100 dungeons, which is probably the hardest thing in this game. I mean, this game is pretty easy right now. Like, bossing's a joke. For bossing, I would take this thing off with this build and just throw on a Godslayer, and I just, like, one or two shot everything, basically. But, yeah, this thing is nuts. And what it's allowed me to do, too, with that lifesteal, and you're going to see how this works, is it's allowed me in my skill tree to take away all my healing. I used to have 3 points into Raid Leader. I used to have 3 points into Invigorating Fury. Now I'm going to put those points into, I have 1 in Heavy Handed. I got some more DR with Defensive Stance. And I have some more DR with the Martial Vigor. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through the items here just so you can see what I'm running. And then I'm going to jump straight into a dungeon, just do this straight. So you guys can see what it looks like in action. And you'll just notice with that health bar just constantly with the big Hoda slams, how good it works. And one thing to note is I actually have a really crappy chest piece for this character. I can't find a good one. I don't need that overpower damage. I do plenty of overpower damage. I have a really bad roll on total armor. The roll on max life and DR from distant is pretty good. And I actually have a 1.0 instead of 1.1 disobedience. But it's only 856 as well. So I could have another damage reduction thing there, either like DR fortified, DR from close, something like that. And I don't have that, so that's something to note too with how this thing works and how this thing performs. So just scrolling through, you can see my build here using Tybalt's Will. And we're focusing on overpower. This class is a ton of fun to play, and this is actually a really good role here too on the Banished Lord's Talisman. But yeah, let's jump into a Nightmare dungeon here. It's not 100. Something I want to rant about really quick is there should be a way to guarantee, instead of me wasting all my dust and keep getting 99s and 95s and 94s and 97s, there should be a way to guarantee getting 100. It should cost like 200 to 250 more dust, maybe even more than that, and you should guarantee a tier 100, and it should drop Living Steel. I think that would be a fantastic way because people are getting very tired of farming Hell Tides. But I digress, so let's jump in to this dungeon. We have Whispering Vault. I kind of forget which one this is because I haven't been doing much Nightmare dungeons. Like, my glyphs aren't even all the way leveled up, even the ones I'm using, let alone the ones I'm not using, because there's really not much incentive to push Nightmare dungeon at the moment, although I do think that will change. But we'll kind of show off how this thing works, and it is pretty nutty. So kind of first thing to note here is, so I tried it on my Poison Rogue because that sounded like a good idea, but there is a couple problems with that, and that's mainly that it seems to work better with like big AoE attacks like Hammer of the Ancients, and I wasn't really paying attention there. But you could see, if you just pay attention to my health bar, how much we're actually going to heal. Like, every time we basically lay down a Hammer of the Ancients, it's pretty nuts. Like, see, full health. And like I said, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I believe it's like, I don't know if it's based on how much health or how much damage you do, but whatever it does, pretty much every time I hit a group of enemies with my Hoda, I fully regain my health. And that's why I have Iron Skin, and I can just get it back. And my character is not very good defensively, so this makes all the difference in the world for me pushing tier 100s right now. So like I said, I think that's really the only challenging thing in the game, and I guess really not for like my rogue build. I've made it super tanky, so Nightmare 100s are actually very easy. But it doesn't work with this helm, and this makes it so this crazy overpowered build. I just pop this on, and I'm good for bossing, or I'm good for Nightmare dungeons, and I just pop on something else for bossing, and I'm good to go. But yeah, I mean, you can see the way this thing is, and it's like kind of trivializing this a little bit. I'm just going around smashing everything. I'm barely paying attention, and like that, like full health, full health, full health. And what I do want to try is, so I don't have a character right now. I want to try the interaction with Remedy. You know, obviously healing and creating a barrier. I'm not exactly sure that works. I tried it actually with the ring for Barbarian, where it's every time you heal for 25% of your life or something like that. Why am I stuck? Please. Thank you. You gain like 40 resource or something like that. And it was actually not working, so I'm not sure how this would work with Remedy. I think if it does work well, I think like a druid or something could be awesome with the combination of them both. And I have no idea where I'm going in this dungeon, but I'm fighting like everything, so giving you a good idea of how it works at least. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. Druid or even like a sorcerer, because they like can get such increases with a barrier up that it could be pretty nutty. See, and when I get low health, I just pop that iron skin and I do a Hoda Smash and I'm back to full health. Oh, it's this one, and you take the teleporters back. Okay. But yeah, if you just, like, I can't pay attention to it that much, I pay attention to it somewhat, but if you just pay attention to my health bar, or health bowl, whatever it's called, I'm trying to look at it now. It's crazy. You'll just see when I do a smash, I'll just go back to full health. And this thing's a ton of fun to play with. Like I said, I'm going to be doing, I wanted to get a video out just kind of showcasing it. And it does seem to work better with AoE attacks, like I said, but I think like if I make like a druid, like a, what's it called? Like a pulverized druid maybe, and get like a barrier somehow. I don't know. I would have to like theory craft something, but I think I could make a really cool build with this. Something unique for, you know, any of you guys that are lucky enough to find this. This has been my only Uber in probably about like 120 Andariel runs. People are saying the drop rate is 2%, but I don't think that's true. I think that was kind of initial testing, just out of like, I think it was Rob did like 400 runs, and you can see right there, I don't know if you just saw my health just shoot up. And they got like 40 Ubers or something like that and 400 runs. But I think the drop rate is actually probably closer to 1%, if I had to guess. Didn't mean to do that because I'm not paying attention. But yeah, this thing's a ton of fun, and it's a dream for these higher tier Nightmare dungeons. I use it in the open world too, just because I don't need more damage. I just constantly stay at full health and just fly through everything. But this thing's great, and I think kind of with that announcement at BlizzCon, which as I'm recording this was yesterday, it seems like there was like a level 50 Paragon glyph for like the vampiric powers. So I think there's going to be a focus back to Nightmare dungeons, you know, move us away, because I think they kind of realized people are like, okay, screw Hell Tides and Whispers. This is getting kind of boring. It's not challenging at all. So I think there's going to be a bit of a shift back to that, and this thing is a absolute dream for Nightmare dungeons. For high tier Nightmare dungeons, I should say. If I was speed farming, I'd probably... it actually probably doesn't matter if I'm speed farming. And the attack speed is actually nice with the lifesteal, because we can get as many Hoda smashes off as possible. And I thought I was going to one tap him, but he got two tapped. But yeah, that's the Andariel's Visage, excuse me. Uber unique kind of showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry if it wasn't the best gameplay, and I look forward to kind of bringing you something unique that you can make with this Uber unique, because I think that's the best part about actually making these somewhat accessible now, although it is still very hard to get these, is you can maybe have some new builds come online. So yeah, I'm gonna try out some things. I would have to start a druid and level it up, which I'm not looking forward to, but I think I can make a really cool build with that if people are interested. So yeah, it's been the Butcher. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back again with more season 2 content in the future. Thanks, guys.